GTA 6 is a wake-up call. He probably really struggled to not call this video like that, but I definitely will, though.
Did you guys know that the statistical chances of you hitting the Mega Millions is something like 1 in 302 million, which is like
So there's a chance?
0.00003% or something like that?
3%? Why is everyone not playing the lottery then? What the hell?
If you guys saw somebody win the lottery, would you then assume that you could do the exact same thing? Investing
I actually know this statistics because I worked for a moment in something that was surrounding the lottery, and the statistics are actually insane. If someone wins the lottery, the whole region will experience a significant, the whole region where the lottery was won, will experience a significant increase in total lottery sales and especially the lottery that that person just won in. It's actually kind of insane.
all of your time and all of your energy into trying to essentially replicate luck, manufacture luck is what you're doing. The video game industry does. A few things have happened recently that paint the perfect image of how AAA is wasting its resources and setting expectations for things that they just cannot achieve. Oftentimes making games that nobody's at.
Bro, AAA for the last 10 years has been setting expectations of how shit they're gonna be. Okay, listen. A Bethesda game comes out, a Blizzard game comes out, a BioWare game comes out. The first thing people are questioning, how shit is this gonna actually be this time?
Asking for, because they're not making the games for you, they're making them for somebody else. They're making them for themselves. How believable does it sound that for many of these publishers in the industry right now, they are benchmarking themselves up against some of the greatest games in the industry, not based on their quality, not based on how fun the game is or how much the players like it, but no, instead, how much money that game made.
Yes,
These
obviously.
executives are so delusional that they're looking at games like Minecraft, Fortnite, and even Grand Theft Auto and saying, yeah, my game can do that.
That's probably literally the mindset the people who made Mind's Eye had.
Today, we're talking about how great.
Still, by the way, waiting for something to get dropped that it was an actual money laundering scam or something like that. Because you cannot have the chief financial officer leave and then the head of what's it called, booking leave also. I always forget the name. Like shit, I need to tattoo it on my arm, but in a Japanese language, so people think it's a cool tattoo, not me autistically trying to remember something. What is it called? Booking? No. Finance? No. That was the other one. The one with the people who do the things. Damn it.
Grand Theft Auto 6 is apparently being projected to make $7 billion in the first 2 months of its release. And how this.
Probably more. Again, dude, if people had to pick, what do you want more? Aliens or GTA 6? GTA 6 wins by a landslide, okay? What do you want more? The Ibersteiner Island list? Or GTA 6? GTA 6 wins, okay? There is not a single thing in life that GTA 6 does not clear currently. We are just living in GTA 6's world and we don't even know it.
Success of that franchise, as well as a handful of a few others, have been leading the games industry around by its nose for the past decade. Did you guys know that EA apparently thinks that Battlefield 6 is going to bring in more players than the entire franchise has put together?
Oh yeah, they I heard that. Oh, that's so hilarious. So, listen, no, what EA thinks is actually stupider than he's saying, okay? EA thinks that their failed franchise of Battlegate Field is gonna actually win Call of Slop. Okay? They think it's gonna take all the players from Call of Slop and make them play their shitty game. It's pretty delusional. It's insanely delusional, in fact.
But before that, a word from today's sponsor.
Oh, damn. I really don't want to hear any of that garbage.
Did you guys know that since the release of Grand Theft Auto 5 in 2013, the franchise has made over $10 billion as of this past May, or that Grand Theft Auto 5 is the fastest selling entertainment product in media history, earning $1 billion in just 3 days, or that Grand Theft Auto Online in 2021 alone pulled in almost $1 billion by itself? Ever since Grand Theft Auto 3 reimagined this series as a 3D narrative sandbox, the franchise has printed money. It is one of the youngest and fastest growing in the industry, only trailing behind Mario, Tetris, and Pokemon in total sales. Grand Theft Auto 5 itself is second only to Minecraft in all-time units sold. We've already talked on this channel about how publishers and journalists across the industry have been basically begging for Grand Theft Auto 6 to raise the standard price of games to $100, not because that price is...
I support this. I want a reckoning. I want all of the slop AAA to raise their shitty, stupid prices to $100. Listen. Microsoft, Xbox, Bethesda, with Avowed from Obsidian raised the price to what was it, $70, $80? Literally no one cares. No one was gonna pay more than $30 to play fucking Avowed. Okay? And these fools are thinking to bring up the price to $100? Bro, currently paying more than $40 for a AAA game just sounds wrong to me. And it sounds wrong to a lot of people besides me, which is the most important part. No one thinks it's even worth paying $70 for AAA slop. Borderlands 4 is gonna be a disaster. Because not only is it woke, the story's stupid, and the gameplay is probably gonna be gay, and the main characters are literally all DEI higher than coated. But because it's gonna be $80, and someone's gonna be, now it's $70 in the... No one cares about your shitty opinion, okay? 70, 80, what's the difference? What's the difference? A lot of people are not gonna buy it anyway, because it's a disaster.
Justified, but because they know that Rockstar could actually get away with it. GTA 6 could launch at any price point and it would still likely sell. While I disagree with the idea of using Grand Theft Auto to set a pricing precedent, because let's be honest, nobody else can pull that off and games just aren't worth that kind of money, I can't deny the reality. If any game could do it, it's this one. Barring any catastrophic failure, this game will sell.
People are saying, by the way, in the comments, every time I bring this up, people are saying that they're not gonna buy GTA 6 for $100. You will. Okay, I will, you will, we all will buy it for $100, okay? Because it's gonna be worth $100. The story for this game is probably gonna be at least $100 long, and if it's not, I'm fucking demanding a refund.
No matter what. I've already seen millions of players tune in just to watch a trailer. At this point, whether or not this game even meets expectations probably doesn't even matter. And that brings us to today, because now analysts are predicting that Grand Theft Auto 6 will make $7 billion in its first 2 months. In an article from Insider Gaming titled, GTA 6 will make $7 billion in 2 months, it's predicted, Grant Taylor Hill writes, "It's no big secret that Grand Theft Auto 6 will likely be the biggest game launch in history. It's set to shatter records worldwide and will easily shift millions and millions of copies within minutes of..."
So, I wonder how did they make this 7.6 billion thing in 60 days? I'm pretty sure they're just gauging engagement from the trailer, from the engagement from GTA 5, and multiplying that with some kind of money number that they got from 5. That's how they're doing it, because there's no other way to do it. Again, boys, we're analysts. We lie about literally everything because we can make any number happen at any point.
Hitting the shelves. One venture capitalist firm, driven by investment in gaming, has taken an analytical stance, making a bunch of predictions, including an ambitious suggestion that Grand Theft Auto 6 will generate $7.6 billion in revenue.
By the way, do you know how you can tell that all of these predictions are bullshit? Take something like Bitcoin, where there's no precedent. Bitcoin is the precedent. And there's one firm that says, "Oh yeah, Bitcoin's gonna reach 200K." Oh no, well that and literally others. There's literally companies that go into the range to the 100 million price valuation from Bitcoin. Okay, it is pretty wild.
In just 60 days of launch. On LinkedIn, Convoy's Josh Chaplin posted a series of predictions based on internal chats at the firm. For those not in the know, Convoy is a firm focused on investing in platforms and technologies on the frontier of gaming. The internal analysis of Grand Theft Auto 6's future yielded a diverse platter of predictions, some more obvious than others. For instance, the team suggested that Grand Theft Auto 6 will be the greatest video game release of all time, which is almost a given.
You know what's the funniest part about playing this? So this is the first heist they do, right? And look at it.
Greatest video game release of all time, which is almost a given. They also suggested that
See that? The money amount that goes up, right? That literally doesn't matter. It literally never matters in the game how much money you get in that heist. At no point during the storyline does it even have any remote impact on whatever the fuck you're doing. It's kind of hilarious.
Grand Theft Auto 6 Online, or whatever it's going to be called, will accommodate 200-player lobbies and will host a thriving UGC component on the platform. One of the most ambitious predictions was centered around Grand Theft Auto 6's envisioned revenue. We predict Grand Theft Auto 6 will generate $7.6 billion in revenue in the first 60 days of its launch. Current release date, May 26, 2026. This will be the greatest video game release of all time, shattering player, viewership, and revenue records. They estimate in a 2-month window, Grand Theft Auto 6 will ship 85 million copies at $80 per game. The team at Convoy also factored in GTA Plus subscriptions, which they estimate will skyrocket when GTA 6 is released. As of 2025, Grand Theft Auto 5 has sold 215 million copies, and it just took 3 days for them to reach $1 billion in sales. Within a single day, 11 million copies were sold. Grand Theft Auto 6 arguably has more hype behind it than Grand Theft Auto 5 did, given the trailers for the game have already broken
The GTA 6 is pushing American culture back to the fucking Stone Age. It's gonna be beautiful.
viewership records twice. There's a bigger, hungrier audience. The technological leaps seem even more monumental, and Rockstar is playing the marketing game
This is the problem with GTA 6. There are a lot of fears about it being, first of all, woke, with everything that the CEOs have said, with everything that we know. One of the big, super, mega bad things about the GTA 6 being potentially woke is the fact that was it the CEO of the GTA 6 project, or was it the CEO of Take Interactive who did that? I don't remember. But they literally said, "Hey, developers, you can't go too hard on specific groups of people and things like that," which is an absolute massive red flag. GTA has always released games that represent the culture, and if you're telling us you can't go too hard on some kind of group of people or whatever, that instantaneously kind of kills the game. That is a major red flag that is gonna 100% impact the game negatively. Furthermore, I mean, you know why woke fails at game design constantly? Because if you subscribe to woke ideologies, the political views and things like that, you are completely hindering yourself in creativity. Because doing this means that you can't talk about this subject because it's not it's racist or whatever. You can't talk about this. You can't talk about this group of people. You can't mention this happening. This person is always bad. This person is always good. You know, it kind of sets the world in stone in the most insane ways possible and limits your creativity options to such an insane degree. And that's the big fear. GTA 6, if it's not able to represent America like a literal melting pot of crackheads, that's people are gonna hate it. If GTA 6 does not make fun of certain types of cultures and subcultures, people are gonna hate it.
perfectly. That, my friends, is a lot of money, but funny enough, it wasn't the number that caught my attention. It was who was doing the predicting. The firm behind that number is Convoy Ventures, a venture capitalist firm that is focused on video games and emergent tech. They don't make games, they build funds, influence investment strategies, and funnel capital into early stage startups, all while helping to set industry-wide expectations. And they are not alone. Alongside a slew of mutual funds, VCs, and institutional investors, firms like Convoy have warped the trajectory of AAA game development by treating anomalies like Grand Theft Auto as a baseline. They are all a part of the same apparatus that projected that the video game industry would see infinite growth during what they called the new normal of COVID lockdowns.
So stupid. Let me explain, by the way, how this happened. So, this happened in finance. Because you're not. This is the problem of anything being traded on publicly traded. Anything ever being publicly traded. Because you can't say, oh yeah, you see this growth right here? Yeah, after this is gonna happen right there. Wish you luck. You can't say that. That is not allowed. Line go up is not a meme. I can tell you from a lot of experience that the line is never supposed to actually go down unless everyone is in agreement that your company is going downhill and there needs to be massive change. You can never allow a line go down, and even then the line go down is like, okay, you can go negative 1%. That's it. That's all we're gonna allow you. It is insane.
All of which failed, leading to industry-wide layoffs and game cancellations. This needs to be said, it's not developers asking for billion-dollar launches. It's not the writers or artists or designers that are scoping their games for mass market appeal. That pressure is coming from the top, from firms that are managing hundreds of billions of dollars in assets, projecting 8% annual growth on an industry that is already nearing $300 billion in market cap. These investment firms aren't looking for sustainable returns. They are benchmarking success against outliers and assuming that every investment can follow suit. If GTA 5 can do it, why can't you? And that mindset is destroying this industry right now. These investment firms are often targeting established publishers like EA, Tencent, Activision Blizzard, Ubisoft, companies that are big enough to be able to absorb the risk, at least for now. And once they're invested, they want growth. Constant, aggressive, exponential growth, not just profitability, growth. That's why we've seen games as a service take over the last couple of years, because reoccurring revenue models are much easier to be able to forecast and monetize at scale. So investor logic says, go big or go home. Suddenly your games just can't be fun anymore. They need to be sticky, scalable, monetizable, commodifiable. And that's how you get these games that have $400 million development budgets and games that sell millions of copies but still fail to meet expectations. And when a firm like Convoy goes public with a $7.6 billion sales projection, it doesn't just set expectations for Grand Theft Auto 6, it moves the goalposts for everybody else. Other studios...
I mean, does anyone really think that GTA 6 is not going to make multiple billions literally fucking week one in sales?
And other games are going to get compared to that figure. Other publishers are going to get asked why their portfolio is not performing at that same level. Suddenly, every shooter now needs to be Fortnite.
Not really. No one's asking those questions, but So, you see, the thing is, not everyone is asking those questions. But when something like GTA comes along and it shows that the market cap is not your fucking measly 30 million players, but it's more close to 1 billion players, people start to figure out that, wait a minute, maybe we're doing something wrong. Maybe we can make it bigger. And that's how they want to do it bigger, because obviously, you know, the CEO of the company is going to get a massive fucking bonus if he makes it bigger. So everyone wants to make it bigger. It's not that some shadowy fucking organization slops its tentacles around your neck and demands that you do GTA numbers. No. It's just the fact that it's visible that the market is bigger than you are currently doing. This is the reason, but this is at least half the reason, I should say, why autistic decisions were made. For example, like Dragon Age Railguard saying, oh, we want to go to a new audience. We make fun of it as the modern audience, but Dragon Age Railguard didn't really want the modern audience per se. They wanted a new audience. Because again, Dragon Age Railguard figured out that, wait a minute, the 10s, 20s, 30s millions of people who are fans of this genre are the minority. There's a whole slew of people, so they try to do something completely autistic and woke, obviously, to try and corner this new elaborate, stupid market.
Every open world game needs to be GTA, and every roadmap is drawn with that fantasy in mind. I mean, look no further than EA reportedly planning for Battlefield 6 to reach 100 million users. That is 5 times the sales of Battlefield 1, the highest selling entry in the franchise, which topped out at around 21 million copies sold. In the 23 years of Battlefield, the entire franchise hasn't even hit 100 million. But now they think after the disaster of Battlefield 2042 that they're going to somehow pull in 100 million people. What are you thinking? How do you believe these snake oil salesmen? Sure, part of that projection is because they're going to have a free-to-play battle royale mode that's meant to mimic Call of Duty.
Free-to-play battle royale. Oh, kill me now.
But there's always been a difference between those two games. Battlefield has never been Call of Duty. It's always been slower, more tactical, and more team-based. It's always had a more niche audience. It's still been a big game, just not that big. And instead of leaning into the things that make that game great, what made it resonate with its core audience, they are now chasing the same trends as everybody else. We need to be the next Fortnite. You know they've poured money into this thing. I guarantee $500 million or more. They've consolidated all of their battle.
But to be absolutely fair, though, that is true that a lot of companies just follow blindly. Again, this is not a secret. This is not a conspiracy, by the way. A lot of companies do follow blindly into changes in direction. I have seen it personally a couple of times where a company decides to, hey, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna fucking sell car air fresheners. Why? Because everyone else is doing it. I mean, they must be doing it for a reason. That's how these things kind of work. And in a lot of cases, like, you know, department head gets changed, and that department head that's now replacing the old one is probably from another company, and that another company probably does something that you don't. And the first thing every reasonable, smart, and good boss actually does when they come to a new company is, by the way, life tips, is implement the successful shit from their old company into the new company. That's what every single competent boss will always do. They're gonna say, okay, keep doing whatever you're doing, but now we're gonna sell car fresheners, okay? It's gonna be lit, it's gonna be amazing, boys. That's how this shit works. Always.
Field studios to work.
And that's the competent people, by the way. The incompetent people are kind of wild
on this one game. Even created a Battlefield lab system to be able to get feedback in real time before the game was even in alpha, all of which they have ignored. Players said that they wanted meaningful classes, specialization, and a return to identity, and what they're getting instead is a flat system. No class restrictions, no unique weapon loadouts, everyone's going to be running the same guns, all in the name of accessibility. Not because they think it makes the game better, but because some
literally the shit that's killing World of Warcraft. The fact that everyone needs to be the same. Everyone needs to have every opportunity granted to them. Disgusting.
Someone, somewhere, thinks it's going to help them hit that 100 million player number. This isn't about players. This isn't about developers. These decisions are being driven by mutual funds, investment firms, and executive leadership that could not care less whether the game is actually good or not. Because
no.
They can't hear you through the money. But these expectations are not reasonable. They're
Okay, listen. I'll also tell you a secret about how these things work, okay? So, Battlefield 204750-2, or whatever that slop is called, they probably have... Maybe they had a class system. Maybe they had something, okay? You make the new thing... It's really hard to actually sell the idea that, hey, the stuff that failed in the previous game, we should repeat that. That's a really hard sell. Actually, let me actually check that. Battlefield 2042 classes. Let's see if they had classes. Electronic Arts. Battlefield 2024 features specialists who are characters with unique gadgets. There we go. There we go. Exactly that. See? This is why the new Battlefield will not have fucking classes. It's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be all open. Because the last game failed and it had classes. That's the thing. It's really hard to sell even things that are actually good to people when they failed. You need to be really good at that, and people don't want to take risks like this.
Fantasies being sold to shareholders, inflated by analysts, and then parroted by the media, all so the people at the top can.
By the way, if anyone comments that Battlefield 2042 didn't have classes, I blame the AI summary. God, the AI, Google just, I hate the AI summary so much. But I mean, we're currently in a video. I can't actually like take 10 minutes to check if it's true, right?
Cash out before the ship hits the rocks. In most cases, the money that's behind these projections is coming from elite investors who are essentially just playing blackjack with the lives of developers and customers. They manipulate sentiment, pump up the hype, and then they pull their money out just as the stock hits its peak. That's why you often see a publisher stock drop the minute after a game releases, because the people that are driving this cycle were never in it for the long haul. They're not here to build sustainable studios or good games. They just want to gamble. And the fallout, well, that lands squarely with the developers whose work gets scrapped, the studios that get shuttered, and the players that are stuck paying more for less. This is not just bad forecasting, it's manufactured pressure. From budget to scope to the tone of the marketing campaign, the product gets warped to serve somebody else's fantasy, and everybody else gets left holding the bag. I'm so exhausted. How do you guys not see what you're doing to yourself? These guys have to be addicts. That's the only thing that makes sense. That's why they're so high on AI right now, because it's the hot term. It brings in investors, and it could be the silver bullet.
It is a hot term that does bring in investors. Well, in any case, Grand Theft Auto is probably going to get like a 6 billion. I don't know how much they're going to get. They're going to get a lot. Their servers are going to explode day one. In any case, hope it's not folk. That's like the real problem. In any case, this was a Legendary Drops, 10 out of 10. Have a nice day. Bye.